Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, little raccoons. It's Emily.
It's Jess.
And we're the hosts of Femmes Reading Phil. We have a really special announcement for you guys.
We have a couple special announcements, actually.
The first one being that we are doing our first ever live show. That's right. It's going to be Tuesday, June 27th at 7:30 p.m. at Otherworld Theater in Chicago, Illinois.
So if you don't live in Chicago, I'm sorry. But also, if you want to travel in, we'll be pretty excited to see you.
Yeah, if you want to travel in for a week, that's a Tuesday. So you got your Tuesday night booked.
Yeah.
The rest of the time you can go do stuff.
It's going to be a good time.
Good
We're going to play some games. We're going to have our special guest, Sarah Murphy, who is a friend and also an improviser and also a Twitch streamer. If you ever want to check her out, her handle is, what is it?
Oops, All Smurf.
Oops, All Smurf.
Mm-hmm. And tickets are going to be $20. And for every $5, it's going to go to the Midwest Access Coalition. So good causes.
Because abortion.
Because yay, abortion.
Yeah.
So for more information, please go to otherworldtheater.org.
And come see us. We're pretty excited.
Come see us. And the second announcement is
we have merch, you guys.
Merch store. It's through Etsy. If you go to femsreadingfilth.etsy.com, you can see our very minimal merch right now, but it's going to grow.
It's small but mighty.
It's small but mighty.
We're working on it.
Yes, we are. So, yeah, like us and follow us on all the things.
And that said, if you have any ideas for merch that you want to DM us, we will take prompts.
Yeah, we love it when people do our work for us.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't know how to DM us, follow us on Instagram at Femmes Reading Phil, and also Facebook at Femmes Reading Phil, and also TikTok at Femmes Reading Phil.
Yeah, so listen out for our live show, and then after that, we'll be back in the fall.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
It's called Smut. Give me smut and nothing but a dirty novel I can't shut if it's uncut and unsut.
Her, but you know how like that era of Disney movies, they would always then have a weird R&B like cover of a song.
Yes.
So I think Bette Midler sings "God Help the Outcast" in the title, like in the credits. And it is so weird. It doesn't sound right.
I mean, you know what's not Disney but did go as hard? Prince of Egypt.
Yes.
Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, When You Believe. Mm-hmm. Oh, my Lanta. So good.
I'm thinking about, because Keenan and I were talking, and we as soon as we submitted our songs for this music league, we had like a million others that we thought of that we wanted to submit. So I kind of want to do a second round, but like also like just do like childhood movies and cartoons. Yeah. And open it up a little bit.
That'd be fun.
Or just cartoons, because like you could get some Steven Universe in there.
You could get some. You can get some old school Nickelodeon songs on there. My favorites being Dino Spumoni from Hey Arnold.
Mine is.
Can I sing all his songs? Yes, I can.
If I can find their like Carmen like opera episode.
Yes. My name's Don Arnold.
Yes. Yes. If I can find that on Spotify, I would 100% submit that.
I was talking about that with the guy I'm seeing the other day. I've never seen like a full-on opera. I'd really like to, and I'd really like it to be Carmen, and I know that's at the lyric right now. And he goes, why? And I go, because of Hey Arnold, because I know one song from it, and therefore
more than any other opera.
I need it.
Yep.
I need it.
Yep.
So speaking of operas,
welcome to Femmes Reading Phil.
I'm Emily.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Will.
It's the finale. Will for the last time.
I know.
Last time, you're Will.
For the last time, I'm Will. From now on, I won't.
No one.
You have a new name.
Have you thought about your new name
What's
yet?
your future name going to be?
Won't.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Won't Nicholson?
Yes. Hi, I'm Won't Nicholson.
Oh, that's really sad.
I actually just really like that joke because it's so simple, and I'm mad that I never thought of something like that.
You're not going to do Way Nicholson?
Hey, no, because I already have a Way Nicholson.
Because where there's a will, there's
a way.
Yeah.
I've never heard these jokes before in my life. It's my
really?
first time.
Did the bullies really go after you about the name Will?
No, not so much the bullies as my friends.
And as we're recording this, the bully episode just released this week, and Will sent me the picture of him from 8th grade that I posted, and I saw that and I went, that looks exactly like my 8th grade boyfriend.
Yep.
Like exactly.
Hey. I stand by what I said, and that all 8th graders at that time looked exactly the same.
Yes, they did. They
Justin Bieber was all the rage, and if you weren't looking as close to him as you could,
You're an asshole.
Exactly.
You're a fucking
You're a fucking asshole. Whereas I think I sent you one of me looking really mad at the camera from Bandcamp.
Yeah, it fit.
Yeah?
It fit. And then mine got commented by not one but two of my cousins. Messaged our
I was wondering who that was.
Those are my cousins.
I really wasn't expecting the green hair.
I know.
It caught me off guard.
It was a
You're
move.
welcome.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it permanent?
No. It was spray painted green, like hair for Green Day for the concert. And Jimmy Eat World opened for them.
That would be a
that's
really
great.
fun show.
And it was right when American Idiot came out, so they
yeah.
were at their height.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it was a fun and one of the cousins that commented, hi Alexa, she went with me as well as our
cool.
family friend Laura Fight. So
Yeah.
that's the second concert I ever went to.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I went to a Kesha concert and dressed up for that. But I didn't spray paint my hair. I just wore a lot of feathers.
That would have been one you could have spray painted your hair.
I know. I
into,
totally
but feathers
could've.
also make sense.
A lot of feathers, a
Yeah.
lot of glitter and eyeliner and all that.
I had feathers for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
While I was part of that trend that was going. I don't know if.
What?
There was a trend for a little while to have feathers in your hair.
In your hair?
Get them put in
No.
extensions. Were you all not? Did you not hear about?
No.
I've never heard of this.
It was when I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school.
Okay.
And my little sister was getting them.
So we were
done.
seniors in high school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was very brief, so I guess I'm not surprised that you didn't know.
We
it.
missed
You
it
didn't-
entirely.
You missed it.
Yeah.
But my little sister was getting them done, and after she got hers done, they had a few extras from the kit or
Yeah.
whatever, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Do you want to just go ahead and put these in your hair?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? I'm a wild and funny guy.
They put it in as a hair extension, where they meld it to your weld it, whatever. It's called.
They crimp it into your hair or whatever.
I've seen people do that as an accessory, for a concert, but I've
Right.
never seen a
Not in a more permanent
Also,
way.
how
Yeah,
do you
it was-
wash your hair with that?
I mean, just normally, I suppose. I will say it was not a very prevalent problem for me, because within a week I wore it to school, and I was in gym class, and this girl in my gym class was like, "Wait, are those real?" And I was like, "Yeah, my sister got them put in, and then I got them put in." And she went, "Nuh-uh, if they're real, they attach them to your hair." I was like, "Yeah, that's what they did." And then she reached up and yanked them out of my hair. And I
that's
was like,
really
"Ow."
painful.
What an asshole.
It hurt a lot, and I was like, "Well, I guess now I don't have feathers."
What's
so
her name? Call her out on this podcast.
Fuck you. No, I didn't really
I'll
matter
cut
that
that
much
out.
to you. That's her real name. It was kind of fucked up I did that.
Yeah,
so
we'll cut. I'm gonna do a beep.
We'll beat that. We'll beat
Yeah.
that. What if
Great
she
bit.
is? What if she is What if she is a
listens?
listener?
What if she's honestly, if she is a listener, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
But you know what?
You know, we love everyone, but also you owe Will an apology,
Yeah.
Miss Beep Beep. So
I
Miss
wasn't
Beep
that
Beep.
upset about it. At the time, I had
upset
a
for
little
you.
bit of a crush on her, so I was like, "Ow,
She touched my hair.
make it up to me." Yeah.
Make it up to me.
Kiss my face.
Let's
Make
go
it up
get
to me.
ice cream or whatever. It's
Yeah.
fine.
this is much better than the podcast thought I had ready.
What's your podcast thought? Now you got to say the podcast thought.
I'll say it and then we're gonna go right past it because it's not as good. I've been on TikTok recently, and they're the one thing that I've been seeing a lot is people in Asia getting lunch.
Okay.
Is
What?
Is that the TikTok?
It's people in China getting a school lunch, and you
Okay.
just see that they pick up the tray and you see all the food that they get.
Oh yeah,
All right, yeah.
School lunches outside of the U.S. are so
very different.
nice, and ours are
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. But now that's that and Korean 7-Eleven food.
Oh yeah, I've been
Which
seeing a lot of Japanese 7-Eleven food.
A lot. Maybe it. I think I've seen both. Then I don't come at me. I don't remember what nationality it was. But
Yeah.
I've been getting only that and Dimension 20 stuff.
Great.
I mean,
It's such a weird.
the algorithm
so
has
weird.
you figured out.
Yeah,
That's-
they know
don't
exactly what you're doing. You want
understand.
organized food.
I do love
And Dimension
organization.
20 and Brennan Lee Mulligan.
Yeah,
Did you finish Never After, by the way?
I did.
Oh, don't.
Did you finish Never After?
I have not watched the 2-part finale yet.
Ah.
I this week caught up with the rest of it because I was a little behind.
Yeah.
And so now I am. I went to start watching the finale, and then I was like, or the new Game Changer Survivor.
Which I also
haven't
saw
watched
that.
yet. I
saw
haven't
that.
watched it
well,
yet.
then we won't talk
We
about
won't
it.
say
No
it.
drop
We
out
won't say it.
spoilers
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
But I did see the trailer for the new season of Dimension 20.
Oh, yeah.
Matt
With Matt Mercer. I saw the teaser. Is there
Yeah,
like another
I
one?
There's
out?
a new trailer that came out. Sean sent it to me.
I
I'll
thought
send it to you after
the
this.
trailer dropped tomorrow. Did it drop today?
I guess
have.
not.
Wow.
But
Mhm.
I know, and I don't know how Brennan did it. Like,
yeah, that's a lot of brain power.
That is a lot of brain power. For
But you're
a really
a
long time.
DM, so you know that kind of like
I mean, look,
creativity you need to use.
I've thought long and hard, but my creative juice is about trying to do something sort of similar, about doing like some big batch recording of like D&D stuff and editing it together. And it's possible, certainly, but it's just, it takes a lot of preparation to get to that point. A lot of time on the front end of him like knowing that world front and back to be able to just really
improvise properly and guide it.
Because that's essentially, normally when I DM, like I know what's going on in the world, and I know what's going on like with different factions and that, and then I have a pretty good idea of what we're gonna do next session, maybe two or three ahead. But other than that, you're writing it as you go. A big part of it is walking away from a session and players came up with something that surprised you or took something in a direction you didn't expect, and you go, great, I'm going to change my story up to reflect that.
Yeah.
And his ability to do that in the middle of these batch records where they also still have to have certain sets make an appearance.
Yeah.
And it can't feel too railroaded. Like it is, he does a wonderful, wonderful job with it. It is truly a Herculean feat.
That's what blew my mind when I learned that they film basically 2 episodes per day. Which is insane to me. And then so yesterday we played D&D with our crew for the first time in like a month. And our DM Joe at one point, like at the end, was like, you guys like surprised me, and I have never felt so complimented. I was like, yes, because we had a really good session. Yeah. Like it was like a good combo of like combat and planning and everything, and
a lot of strategizing.
We did some crazy shit, and
it
felt so good. And then he was like, "Yeah, that went in a direction I didn't expect," and I was like, "Yes."
I have a feeling I might die in the next one.
I think you might die.
I think I might die,
but I have the soul shears, so.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but also I do want to say and have it on the pod. Next time Riff has a one-off, I want to play.
Hey, I'll tell you right now on the pod. If you want to like join us regularly.
See, I can't because my schedule. That's why I couldn't do the regular. But I'm like, whenever you have like a really small, like a 1 to 3 episode.
Like little arc?
Yeah, I would love to come in and be like, I'm here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't commit regularly because my schedule's so weird.
Anyways, all that's probably going to get cut.
Nobody cares.
Speaking of, D&D, it's the Battle Royale. It's the finale today.
It's a finale today.
And we're going to do things a little differently.
Yep, we already have.
Yes, in the season 1 finale, we kind of did it as a debate. And we thought, in the spirit of, I don't know, good communication maybe, that we would kind of do it together. So we're going to pick Jess and I are going to pick one from the hat. This time it's not a floppy hat. It is a straw
hat with
fedora.
Structure. It is Keenan's Summerman hat.
It's a choice.
This is what Keenan wears when he feels like summertime.
Is he selling cigars in Cuba? Is that what he does?
He dearly wants to be.
I could believe that.
All the time.
We each pick one, we say them, and then we all kind of discuss as a group which one would win in that faction.
Yeah, and like for
bracket,
any listener that skipped season 1, go back and listen to season 1. But in case you don't know what we're doing, we're basically just like recapping the season. We're going to talk about our tropes. We're going to talk about our fics and our stories, and just send Will out with a bang and remind you guys of all the cool shit that we talked about.
Yep, and we're doing it at a bracket style.
We're doing it in bracket
Think of this as the basketball is that's March
March
Madness,
Madness,
but this is Smutty April.
Wow.
I can't think of an A.
Wow.
For like a sexy A.
Yeah. What's a sexy A?
Apricot.
Areola April.
If you watch Call Me By Your Name, he fucks an apricot.
Isn't it a peach?
Well, in the book, it's an apricot.
Oh.
But in the
semantics.
movie, I think an apricot is a little too small, and they needed the peach.
Yeah.
Well, and this is a book. This is a novel podcast. So thank you for distinguishing that.
Yeah. If you want to, I listened to it, but if you want to read one of the horniest books of all time, read Call Me By Your Name. It's a really good book, but it's also from the perspective of the horniest teenager ever to be written.
Will, you wrote a book.
That's right. It's about me now.
Yeah.
I would, but I'm reading another Hermione fanfic right now.
Oh, which one?
It's called The Silver Envelope, and I really like it.
Can you send it to me? Because I can't.
Yes, it's not finished yet.
I have not been able to get through the one that you recommended.
It makes me so sad because once you get to the smut, you'll like it.
I'm like 8 chapters in, and she's just sad, and Draco hasn't come in yet.
The friendships are building.
Okay, but there's still no smut at all in 8 whole chapters?
I know that's a lot. That's weird coming from me. That I liked a kind of fluffy.
I know. I gotta keep powering through because I want to do this for you, but I am having a hard time.
I appreciate you telling me that.
I got you, but also send me the one that you're reading.
All right, what's the first thing you picked?
Okay. And Will, obviously your role in this is you can pick a side.
Yeah.
You can also stoke the flame. You can be devil's advocate. You can kind of do whatever the fuck you want. You can be our third debater or conversationalist, whatever you want.
Whatever I want, just what I've been doing all season.
Okay, so I picked Amish.
And I picked Greenlight.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and synopsize we're going to both synopsize the tropes, and then we'll discuss which one would win in a bracket face-off.
All right, so Amish. They're Amish.
Killing it. You're starting out with a bang. You're doing so good.
I don't know what else to say. They're an Amish trope involved.
I got wine in my eyes. I just snorted into my wine cup when you said that, and it splashed into my eyes.
Sorry, do you need a second?
No, I'm all right.
Do you need more wine?
I mean,
that'll help. So yeah, they're Amish. One of the people in the story is Amish. It's a whole thing of like in fan fiction. There was a lot of like breeding kink. There was a lot of creepiness in mine, at least. Emily's didn't have any smut at all, and it was very focused on an outsider either coming back to this community that's very insular and very traditional, or just an outsider coming in and learning about it, and kind of that friction and that dynamic with a lot of heavy religious overtones. Do you want me to talk about why I think it should win, or do you want to summarize yours first?
Let's do mine first. But I guess something else to say about Amish is that a lot of it's about the build-up.
Yeah.
And so a lot of tension,
More
sexual
tension.
or like hand-holding otherwise is usually the whole story.
Not a very overtly, like not a lot of like sex, more the tension and the build and the, dynamic.
Ripping that bonnet off and giving that girl a good
bonnet
kiss.
ripper. A bonnet ripper.
You could almost read it as like a modern day Regency.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could.
Like that it's very similar in that it has like those kind of strict social rules and like
a
that's
lot more religion centered.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And now it's facing off against Greenlight, which is from the song Greenlight by Lorde. We said it was kind of about, we had slightly different takes on it, but it was about like going, like getting it's about like getting the green light to either move on or to like do something that you've wanted to do. So I guess in a way it's also about a lot of tension buildup but usually in this story, like where Amish, the tension happens throughout the story. I feel like the tension has already been brewing in the beginning of a green light book. Yeah, like you're already maybe not halfway, but it's already like pretty set.
Oh yeah.
Because a big part of what we were talking about, or like what I took away from Greenlight, is kind of that friends to lovers to enemies, like
could be a second chance
relationship progression. So yeah, second chance romance, or just kind of the tension of like your status with this person has changed, and now you're kind of in free fall and you're trying to deal with that. I feel like both of our stories had a lot of that. Yeah. So I think that. I think that Amish is the winner of these two.
Yeah.
What do you think, Will?
Yeah.
Now, are you saying that because it's your job to defend the one that you drew out of the hat, or you feel like that is the stronger of the two?
I think that Amish brought a unique perspective to our podcast. It brought something new that we hadn't really explored yet. Like there was a lot of concepts that we hadn't really talked about, and it was it's a relatively popular like KU genre and that kind of thing, and it kind of opened up that door for us. So even if it wasn't super smutty, it was still like it allowed us to kind of unlock a whole new really big trope and explore it, which I thought was interesting.
In contrast, though, I'd say Greenlight was also something that challenged us and was new because it was a different type of trope for us to get. And I guess if we're thinking like in the grand scheme of things, this is like a trope bracket for this, and how I don't know. Like, I enjoyed the story. I don't know. I enjoyed the Amish stories too. That's the hard part.
That's the thing. Is for me,
we had some really iconic moments in the Amish episode.
I mean,
but
God
like,
is good.
God is
Come
good.
on.
Yeah. And the Greenlight, I think the Greenlight episode, the prompt was super cool. And I really enjoyed being able to kind of, both of us brought something different to the table. And that was awesome. But I will remember my Amish fanfic until the end of time because it hurt me.
I weirdly
fair.
think I'll remember the stories in the Amish episode more, but I'll remember the defining and the beginning of the Greenlight episode more. You know what I mean? Because it was a take it as you will type of thing, and the Amish one was literal straight. I was hungover and got it from Wikipedia, if I remember correctly. Will, if you could decide for us, what will be?
Yeah, you want to be the tiebreaker?
All right, sure. I think I'm gonna give it to Amish just because. I think if somebody is listening to this podcast as a way to get like recs and like find smut that they like, Greenlight isn't going to be super helpful for that. You know, there's not, that's not like they can't go look up Greenlight fix or smut like that. They can listen to the song and go read books until they find something they feel like fits with it. Great. Yeah. I don't know, but as much fun as we had with it, and I really like the stories from it, I think just from a utilitarian standpoint, it was more of an experiment for us rather than a resource for the listener. And so that's why I got to go Amish.
Very pragmatic of you.
I like
Appreciate that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, next round, I have Wounded Soldier.
I have Accidental Marriage in Las Vegas.
All right, so Wounded Soldier, first trope of the season. We started out with a bang. There was a bunch of different types. There was the like literal, I think you came into it, Will, thinking it was going to be a literal wounded soldier thing, like a nurse kind of patching up. Didn't you say something like that? Or was it something like patching up a soldier after a war type of thing?
I think I expected it to be a little bit less literal.
Oh, you did? I don't remember.
Then because then yours was like they are actually soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had like a triple wounded soldier.
Yeah. I did. I had one of those triple WSs. Yeah. But we talked about it being like mental as well, like helping somebody through like a PTSD type thing. And the fact that it can span multiple genres, and that I almost picked like a mafia fic because they're referenced as soldiers in the mafia. So like, you know, a battered man from the mafia finding his angel who isn't in the life, you know, like I think that kind of can hit a lot of different people who kind of like a caretaker-esque trope.
Yeah, I mean, that was what mine was a lot of the time, like with my fanfic. And then Las Vegas, Accidental Marriage. Being drunk, being in Las Vegas, getting married accidentally. It's pretty self-explanatory. I keep getting the really self-explanatory ones.
They're Amish.
They're Amish. But I think what was cool about this one was it was a mashup of two tropes. Like we had Accidental Marriage, which I would say is kind of the main trope, and then we like sprinkled in some Las Vegas. But I feel like it's a trope, but it also is just like a stereotype that we have about Las Vegas. Like people are getting married left and right over there, and I appreciated being able to kind of explore that with this. And then mine was the Social Network one. So for me, this one sticks out with just like being able to explain that fandom to people. And then yours was like the it
was Trick You.
Yeah, it was the guy with the horrible boundaries.
Like.
Yeah. Why do you think yours should win? Because I think the fact that Trick You was included in mine means that it should not
I do
win.
think mine should win, actually, because I think it would serve more people if we're gonna go with kind of your first thing. It spans genres.
I want to be clear. That may not be my criteria for every round.
Yeah,
but that was a good
change.
No. That's okay if it's not. It's okay if it's not. It's okay if it's not, but I like that was an answer that you gave, and I think it does fit with this one. That you can find it, because you can find it in a fantasy type of series, you can find it in a contemporary romance, you can find it in a mystery. So like the caretaker kind of nurse back to health type of thing. Like I feel like everyone has seen or read a story like that.
I mean, this is hard because the Social Network is one of the stronger fics from the season, I felt like, for me. Yet Trick You was one of my least favorite from the season.
You're welcome.
Like we've just got two extremes there.
Yeah. We did have a good time talking about
I had a blast talking about Trick You. But good Lord, does it have some problems for me. Some big old red flags.
think a lot of these stories have problems.
Oh
though,
yeah, I
let's be
mean,
honest.
sure, I mean that's true. We're here talking about escapism. None of this is real life.
Think of Wounded Soldier. Think of Michael Grabowski and the cuckolded brother in my fic.
I honestly think I would go with Wounded Soldier.
Yeah,
What was
I
your-
think I'm gonna
what was your fic
manacled,
again?
right?
No, it
No.
was. It
Oh,
was,
no, that
but
was-
it was also by
oh,
Sinlin Yu.
it was Snape Hermione.
Yeah, it was. Oh God, do not go gentle.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Which is one of my favorite fics. So I think if we're doing this, we're trying to be friendly this season instead of doing a debate. So I'm gonna give it to you. I think Wounded Soldier is our winner.
Okay.
yeah, I'd agree.
right,
I'd
let's
agree
do
with
it.
that one.
Yep.
All right, that moves on
All right.
to the next one.
Pull it out of the hat.
Out of the straw non-floppy hat.
Floppy hat.
Out of that Jason Mraz.
I think honestly our debates, like it'll either be a debate or friendly depending on the hat that we have, is what I think.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
the
So
if
fedora
it's
means friendly.
Friendly, and if it's floppy, we're all
means I'm
angry.
gonna
What
Because
happens
it's
when you
Mario?
get a top hat?
If
Ooh, fancy
listeners,
debate.
if anyone wants to send in a top hat,
We'll do
A
fancy
Lincoln
debate.
Douglas
yeah.
debate?
I think that makes sense.
What did you get?
Omegaverse.
I got Shared Secrets, which was the Manacled episode.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Omegaverse very famously was Possession. And what was yours called again?
Mine was better. It's called Hollow was the one that I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the Batman Joker one.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
Omegaverse, I mean, we learned about a whole universe. We sure did learn a whole lot of things that it took me a while to learn just through exposure. And I really enjoyed being able to educate you guys on some insane shit.
Oh yeah.
And so like that's what I love about the Omegaverse is it's just this weird child of the fandoms that just have created a trope all on their own through an amalgamation of different other tropes that they liked. So I do really like the Omegaverse. I think it's legendary.
All right, great. And time and Emily.
Emily?
Shared Secret was a trope that we kind of came up with a little bit. Like we've all read books with something in it, but that's not something you would usually search.
And
like
when we
for
initially
a
got
Kindle
it,
Unlimited.
I think we were definitely leaning like espionage.
Yes, it was like an
kind of
enemies
thing.
enemies sharing a secret that turns them into lovers.
Yeah.
Was kind of the thing, and it was. I had kind of one KU in mind, but it wasn't. I wasn't like excited about it, and so I didn't like want to read it. Hence, why we both ended up reading Manacled, and I'm very happy I did. It was such a
started
wonderful
you down
story.
the fan fiction path.
And that was such a good like a literal version of an enemies sharing a secret and then turning them into lovers. Like it was an actual
That episode's
step
coming
by
out next
step.
week, and I'm
Yes.
so excited.
Oh yeah.
that is a 2.5 hour episode.
I want to
And-
know. I want to know who.
Wow.
I want to know who listens to it. It might completely tank our numbers, and I don't give a shit.
We will look at the analytics.
If
for
10
that.
people listen to it, I don't care. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, people can pause it and then come
Yeah.
back. To
Oh
it.
yeah, that's what I do.
I rarely. Yeah. I look at podcast seasons as an uninterrupted chunk
Yes.
of media
This
I
is
can
just
listen
what I'm
to.
doing for a while.
Like I loved Manacled so much, but I think we all know where my heart is.
Omegaverse?
It's with the Omegaverse, which I love dearly.
This one is tough because these were two of the stronger weeks. I felt
They
like.
were
I really,
big weeks.
I loved Manacled. It was a cool. I mean, it's a fucking tome, an epic
Yeah.
of Gilgamesh levels of.
Fan fiction.
Fan
I told
fiction.
my
It just-
neighbor about it today. I told my neighbor I do a podcast, and she was like, "What's it about?" I said this, and then I said, "We actually just read a huge fan fiction." She goes, "Fan fiction?" I go, "Yeah, it's like a Draco Hermione." She's like, "Oh my god!" So I'm like, "We got another listener right there." So,
Amazing.
hi, Sejal. But yeah, it was a huge epic undertaking.
It was, and yet I think I gotta give it to Omegaverse. Only because I really love the idea of this like shared community ownership over that. You know what I mean? Just the idea of like as a community of fanfic writers, we can invent our own genre and collaboratively agree on the rules of it and agree to bend those rules and have this kind of shared ownership is such a cool thing that it doesn't happen in a lot of media. I really can't think of another media that has that sort of thing to happen in its space, you know? Like there's not a TV show that's a bunch of fans coming together and be like, we can write this TV show and here are the rules for it. So I'm gonna give it to Omegaverse
I think
just
that's
based
It
on
brought
that.
us terms like slick,
Slick.
and nesting.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is a mutual thing. Everyone thinks it's a Megaverse. All right.
Sorry, Manacled. We do love you.
We love you. All right. Last one of the first round bracket.
Okay. Fair.
I can't wait to see what happens when Amish and Omegaverse hit each other.
You might be surprised. No.
I got Bully.
Bets and Wagers.
These are actually two of my favorite episodes. Shit, I love the Bully. I think everyone knows I love the Bully trope so much.
Yeah.
It's an enemies to lovers, just set in an academic setting is what it is. Like, it has a lot of really, I mean, there's little things that I don't like about the trope, a la humiliation aspect, but I think in the two that we picked, there wasn't really a lot of that.
There was a little bit for mine just because of Regina and Janice's general dynamic.
And I tried to pick, and I believe I said this on the episode, where I like the ones where the victim, not the bully, the buller, the whatever, victim fights back and like doesn't take it lying down.
Yeah.
And I like that kind, like where the sexual tension builds. I think a lot of people can either relate to it. I know there can be a lot of more darker types of bully tropes, which is what you said about the fanfic version of bully trope. And then the KU version is always like wrong side of the tracks, kind of like hating each other but falling in love anyways. And it creates a lot of good tension, and it's a lot of teen drama that you just need for an escapism sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I still hate the bully trope. I don't find it fun.
No, talk about yours.
No, I know. Bets and Wagers, I really enjoyed. Obviously, again, it's another self-explanatory one. I don't need to tell you guys what Bets and Wagers are. You know what that is.
You're really getting a lot.
I'm getting the easy ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as a trope, it really comes into like a sex bet or that kind of thing of like, I bet you can't have sex for this long, or I bet you can't date the first woman that comes in the door, or in my case, I bet you can't run through my labyrinth and make it out alive. A classic bet and wager trope.
We've all been there.
We've all been kidnapped by a goblin king as a child, and then he brings us back when we're the age of consent, and then he rubs us to completion with his glass scepter. Obviously.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, Bets and Wagers definitely has a soft place in my heart, again, because I was able to bring Labyrinth fic to it, and that definitely has biased me to this episode, because I just, that is a classic fandom of mine, and I really loved the story. And I really liked your story as well. Like, I thought that both of those were very solid.
I did really enjoy my bet story, but I also, again, I love the bully, and I read one of my favorites for the bully episode, and I do want to, because again, the bully episode came out this week, so I was listening to it a little bit, and I was reminded of when they like pulled a prank on her where they put a bunch of vibrators in her backpack.
That was a good prank.
And I was just like, what a good prank, and also you get to keep all those vibrators.
Yeah, I think both of these tropes are heavy on shenanigans. Yeah, and I do appreciate that.
I do
about
love
both
a good shenanigan.
But Bets and Wagers, I feel like, has the shenanigans without as many of the potentially problematic aspects.
I think yours is more a friendly thing. Like, bully is infinitely darker.
Yeah,
inherently.
Thank you. Inherently darker. Yeah. So I think it's a light versus dark right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
A breast versus a thigh, if you will.
Whew, yeah,
I've been thinking about rotisserie chicken a lot lately.
Yeah. Will, what do you think? Are you a breast or a thigh guy?
I mean, well, that's a larger question.
I think this
how
is
long
one
do we have.
I think this is one we're actually like divided on. Like, I'm gonna vote. I vote bully on this one.
I vote Bets
and I think you're gonna. And it's okay. You're gonna be the tiebreaker on this, and it's okay with whichever one you pick.
It's a tough one for me because they're both good tropes, and I think that I like both of them for a lot of the same reasons.
Right. Shenanigans,
and I ultimately I think I'm going to lean a little bit more on the Bets and Wagers side of things, just because both of those fics were, I think, some of my top. Those were two of my tops from the season. Bet Me to Stay was great, and I mean the Labyrinth.
And then we watched.
I saw the Labyrinth for the first time
right
following that recording. So it was a great night.
Yeah.
The bullies one, I loved the fix we had. There's a part of me that wonders if maybe we didn't get the cream of the crop right there. And the other, like, the rest of the bully fix would be a little bit more like
I am so
hard to
down for
swallow.
doing another bully episode. Maybe this time Jessica reads a KU and I read a bully fanfic.
Listen, if it comes up organically, I will consider it.
Oh, I'll
If our
fucking
next,
make it.
if
come
our
up
next
organically.
guest is like, oh my god, you know this thing I love, bully tropes.
Hey, next guest, you remember where I pulled Amish from? Anyway.
Okay, so Bet Me to Stay
So,
wins.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
butthurt
bets and
over it.
wagers.
Whatever it's. Oh, yes.
Bets-
Sorry,
Yes,
best-
bet Me to Stay
Yeah.
does also win. It
Yeah.
That
a
was
great-
honestly
in there.
one of the best things I've read on this season, I think.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for
Oh.
like I feel
That
like
was a
I
good
picked
one.
real well and I was really proud of that one.
Yeah, it was a really good one.
Okay, so we're down to the second bracket now.
All right.
We had Wounded Soldier, we had Amish, we had Bets and
Omegaverse.
Wagers, and Omegaverse.
Yep.
We put them all back in the fedora and are picking again. I picked one. Go ahead.
Alright, give me that fedora.
All right, I have picked Omegaverse.
Oh lord.
Don't let it be Amish.
Bets and wagers.
Ooh,
I think Omegaverse wins hands down.
I kind of do too. I feel like that's the trump card.
I mean,
yeah.
you say that, but again, the stories from the Bets and Wagers episodes were
Were
two
better.
of my favorites.
Think
They
of the
were-
world building in Omegaverse,
I
though.
know,
All the
it's-
fun we had
What
learning
was
those
the
terms.
stronger trope? I think Omegaverse.
Yeah,
is the
I
stronger
think
trope.
Omegaverse is the stronger trope. I mean, and
It's
again,
the more distinct trope.
It
to
is the
be
more distinct
fair.
trope, and that again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but that community element to it is so cool.
Community
it just gives
over
it So
shenanigans.
much
Wow, you are drawing a line.
amazing. Or you can watch the TV show Community and get both.
Get both of them. Get
That is-
shenanigans and
Shenanigans
community.
and
Ooh,
community.
I like that. That was good.
All right.
All right, last.
Last one.
I mean, we know what it is.
I've got Amish.
And I've got Wounded Soldier, right? Yeah. I forgot what it was.
Fuck, man.
And in reality, both of these should have been out in this round.
I
and
kind
it
of-
should be Bets and Wagers and Omegaverse in the finals. But you know,
Guys,
that's not how
I want to
brackets
vote.
work.
I want to vote Amish
Yeah.
because if it's when I'm thinking of just the episodes and what I liked to record more and what I like to listen to more.
Yeah.
I liked listening to the Amish one more, but I also think like listener, if you listened on that one, I said listen so many times.
Yeah.
Again, I think I said we talked about how we had all gone out the night before.
Yeah, I
like
remember.
we were in
Yeah.
a state during that episode and it was so like slap happy and like silly and it was so fun.
Yeah.
And listening to it, I still have fun listening to it as well. And not that I didn't have fun listening to Wounded Soldier.
Yeah.
But there is just like an added element of like this is ridiculous with the Amish episode.
Yeah, well, and I think too with the Wounded Soldier, that was our first episode.
Yeah,
so
it
for
was,
me, I can hear how nervous I am when I go back and listen to it. I'm like I'm not palling around as much this episode because
Yeah.
I'm so worried.
It
I'm like I
takes
gotta
time.
do a good job. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
listened them now clearly. And Amish, I think. Amish was a big part of that loosening up though
Yeah.
because it
It was
was
so silly.
it was so out there,
Yeah.
different. And, you know, we learned a lot about the Amish culture that we may
did.
not have
Yeah.
beforehand. So, for
I
those
did,
reasons,
I did literal
We
research.
go Amish. Yeah.
I'm going to go Amish.
All right.
Yeah,
all
Donna,
right.
she did research.
Also, because God is good.
God
is
is
good.
good.
God is
All right.
good.
Final
All right.
bracket.
Omegaverse versus
Versus
Amish.
Amish.
I don't think we need to split
I don't
it
think
up.
we do either. We could just
Yeah,
discuss.
clearly it's Amish.
Two very distinct worlds.
yeah.
Two incredibly different
Incredibly
genres.
different
Both,
worlds.
if you look at my fix, both involve cum very heavily.
I'm just gonna look at you. Do you feel good about saying that?
We
right
had
now?
breeding kink with Amish, and we also had kind of breeding kink with the Omegaverse.
Okay.
All right.
That's a huge
Okay.
part of the Omegaverse.
Emily,
is
what's two other ways that
fertility?
those serves?
like
I had primal kink in my Omegaverse one. That
Uh-huh.
was really big.
that was not an Amish.
That was not an Amish. But I had a lot of
I mean, arguably breeding is the most primal of kinks.
Yeah, basically.
the guy pursued the girl in both of those. The girl, like Bridget in the titular book Bridget,
But both. So okay. So we're thinking about.
Do I
Bridget,
have to think of like
thinking about Bridget, the
No,
teacher book,
you
Bridget,
don't.
and then your protagonist in your Omegaverse book,
Possession.
Possession.
Hazel, I believe.
Both were dealing with systems of society that they didn't feel good about.
It's true.
Both were
True.
seeking a new life and a new way of working through the
Wow.
world. Can you tell I am good at sales? And they
You were great at Socratic seminars in high school.
Thank you.
You didn't read
See,
the book, and you got full marks every time.
I can't sell something that I don't believe in. So
I mean, I think we all know that
Yeah.
Omegaverse
I think
gets
Omegaverse
it.
is
Yeah,
gonna
of
win.
course.
But I think Amish is a worthy second place.
It
Yeah,
was.
I agree.
Really, a surprising, like a strong showing from Amish.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
pitched Amish, I really was like,
You were
This'll
fucking
be
around.
something.
I was fucking around a
Yeah.
little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to see what they'll do if I
Yeah.
give them Amish genuinely
well,
because they
let's
joked
send
about
out
it
a
before.
let's send out a thank you to Ben Oxer for
Yeah, shout out Ben Oxer.
Yeah,
for
shout
that
out
homage.
Ben.
Go listen to the Christmas episode if you haven't.
Don't.
Yeah.
I thought you said don't listen
Yeah,
to it.
don't-
Just skip to Amish. You're fine.
Forget it. Only listen to me. No, that's
Yeah.
not true. Don't do
Ooh,
that.
wow. I mean, I kind of like when you look back at all of them in just a list. You're like, yeah, Omegaverse is like the
Omegaverse is a
strongest.
chunky one.
It is.
It's a
It
chunk.
is.
It's a chunk.
I'm surprised Manacle got out as early as it did. But when you're
When
going
it
up
was-
against
it was up
Omegaverse in the
against
first
if
round,
it had been up
Yeah.
against anything else, it would have
Yeah.
made it through.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
and I allow Bully. If Bully had been up against anything else, I feel like it should. Well, no, not against Omegaverse.
No.
But like if it was against like Wounded Soldier, I would have
Yeah.
gone harder for Bully. But Bets and Wagers was such a good episode.
It was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
We
I
did
like
good.
that we're having an after talk about the thing we literally just did.
Yeah.
hey, listen, the randomness of the hat, it determines our bracket, but
Yeah.
our hearts determine
Yeah.
our favorites.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
So Omegaverse is the official winner of the season. I think we all feel good about that choice.
We all feel
I
great
think
about that
If
choice.
somebody
Yeah.
wants to make like a trophy for it and send it to us, or
Yeah.
we'll make a little ribbon.
A
I think that
make a
makes
nesting
sense.
trophy.
Yeah, for Omegaverse.
Get some blankets.
Some
put like a
blankets,
tiny
some
little like you did it
pillows.
on it.
Cover it
It's
in
so
slick and mail it to
or
us.
just buy one of
cute. Please
those.
don't do that. Please don't do that.
Buy one of those not dildos and stick it on a block of wood.
Yeah.
and send
Ah.
it to us.
I'm sorry, a KNOTT dildo, not a not dildo.
Yeah.
Spelling is important, as we learned.
We just get a bunch of things in the mail that aren't dildos.
What the fuck?
Just a lot of rope.
If you listened to the season 1 finale, you know that we have another part of this, which is superlatives.
Yes.
We came up with some superlatives. We came up with some nominees for them.
Yeah.
And then we gave them to Will. So we have no idea who won them.
Yeah.
Will is going to present us with the winners, but we can read off the
Yeah, you all should read off the nominees, and
Okay.
then I can open the
I'm
envelope,
pulling it up right now.
award show style.
yeah, I've got to pull it up too.
First and foremost, we have favorite fandom. And then the options were the Harry Potter fandom, obviously, the Social Network fandom, obviously, Labyrinth, and Batman.
And the winner for favorite fandom is Labyrinth.
Oh, that is surprising to me. Tell me
am
why.
Well, I will say honorable mention goes to Social Network.
Fair.
I really enjoyed that one. I really liked the twist on the story. I thought it was very fun. I really liked the Labyrinth just because Bets and Wagers was such a strong episode for me. Both of those fics are so fun. I really love that trope, and I really love the camp of the Labyrinth.
Yeah.
It mixed very well with the camp of fanfic in a
Yeah.
way that I just, it jived with me. I didn't go with Harry Potter, even though the two Harry Potter fics were, I felt like, very strong ones in this season, because fuck turfs.
Correct.
That was really one of the big deciding factors for me with that.
Yeah.
And so that's where I ended up.
And
landing on
and
it.
you chose David Bowie, which I think
Yes.
is
And I-
the
yeah,
right
exactly.
move categorically.
Sarah. Again, with my flawless
Flawless.
David Bowie impression. Sarah, turn back, Sarah. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it.
I hear it. I feel like if I close my eyes, I am Ziggy. All right, second one. Cringiest KU character name. Tansy/Kansas/Arkansas from Bet Me to Stay. She was the best friend / literary agent to the main character. We have Wolf/Aries from Dirty Wicked Prince, which was the bully episode.
Go.
We have Biff short for Tabitha. There was a bunch of names from Trick You, but I was like, I feel like that was the one.
Biff got a strong reaction.
Had a very strong,
yeah.
and that was from the Drunken Vegas episode.
Yeah.
And finally, from Wounded Soldier, I had either Zeke or Michael Grabowski from Embattled Hearts because
Mike Grabowski.
we kept saying Mike
Mike
Wazowski. Yes.
Grabowski.
So I didn't know if that was cringe or not, but those are the 4 I said.
And the winner is Tansy, Arkansas. I had to go with Tansy.
I love that
First of all,
one.
I'm from Arkansas. Also, my honorable mention here was Wolf and Aries. And I went with Tansy just because at least Aries is a name, right? At least Aries is a name that you, like, if you gave it to your child, I'd be like, that's eccentric, weird choice, but okay.
Yeah. That child
Tansy
has big shoes to fill.
is
but all right.
nothing. Tansy is a couple sounds fell out of your mouth, and you went, "Yep, that's my character."
If you go back, we keep I think I keep saying when I'm trying to say it really fast, I go Tansy, Kansas, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Like
it was a very funny bit. I loved it.
Tansy, Kansas. All right.
Wolf Aries got that honorable mention. Just I think, especially because the rest of the names in that fic were also so ridiculous.
Yeah, it almost
that,
fit.
It's there as like a placeholder for like that entire.
I almost put
book.
Dorian, and I was like, I think you guys had a stronger reaction to Wolf.
Yeah.
than
Oh,
Dorian.
We
Wolf
absolutely
was
did.
definitely the
Dorian
one to
is another
put.
one of those, like, that would be a strong choice, but that's at least a name. I'm really surprised. I would have gone with Biff.
I feel like you definitely would have
I
gone
was so
Biff.
mad about Biff.
Biff
Tabitha.
did make me mad, and honestly, maybe if that episode had been out already and I'd re-listened to it, it might have swayed me more.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I was like, you know what? My child was named Tabitha, and they were like, I don't like Tabitha. I want a nickname. And Tabby is gross. I'm gonna go by Biff. I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of
Fine.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I appreciate
And
it.
again, if you say it
I-
with a British accent,
Biff.
Tabitha.
Biff. Oh, I'm Biff.
Oh,
What's
I'm
up?
Biff.
Yeah, it
Tabitha.
does.
Oh,
It is
Biff.
one of those. It sounds
Yeah.
better with
Yeah.
our amazing British accents. It makes
Exactly,
sense.
yes.
It all makes sense.
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
Biff.
Turn back.
Turn
Biff.
back.
Turn
Biff.
All right,
Biff.
next category.
Best world building, which when we were coming up with these, I thought that it should be sluttiest world building because you're a slut for narrative.
I am a slut for
But
narrative.
we were worried that wouldn't play, but I thought I'd say it anyway. So best world building, we have Manacled by Senlin Yu, which was the
Shared
fanfic.
Secret.
Shared Secrets fanfic. Possession, the Forbidden Alpha series, which was Emily's Omegaverse KU by Liliana Carlisle. Painkiller by Commander of Raccoons, which was the Mean Girls Soulmates fic from the Bully episode. And then Off Limits by J-Lo, which was Emily's fic from the Greenlight episode.
And the winner is the world building that gave me a hard on. I was trying to go for sluttiest world building. Never mind. It's Possession.
Yay!
Just want to thank you guys so much for picking that.
Yeah, I mean, the world building was really cool on
Yeah.
top of like the challenge of world building on top of a like system that already exists in the Omegaverse. I thought was very impressive. Like it stayed true to the Omegaverse, but still like took it in a direction that felt I mean I say
It
this
added
without
to
having read any other Omegaverse, but it felt unique, you know.
Yeah.
It's like not every Omegaverse is gonna have the island where the alphas are kept and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. So that I thought that was very fun world building.
Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of hoping you'd pick that one
Yeah.
because it was really cool.
I
It
read
was.
the sequel the other day.
Oh, was
how
it as good?
It was pretty good.
Yeah?
It was pretty good.
The first one still has a special place in your heart, though.
I think so, yeah. Because because this continues on. It's not the same characters. It's the same.
But it's
world.
the same world.
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is best sexy time scene.
Woo!
So it doesn't have to necessarily involve sex. It's just sexy,
Sexy
times.
times.
So number one, in Carnival of Dreams, which is the Bet episode, is the Jareth and Sarah throne room grinding on a scepter dirty talk scene.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
We
just
all
a
know it well.
mouthful to say.
Yep.
Number two was the Manacled Shared Secret episode. All of the desperate hotel check-in sex with the Oxford hoodie. So every time they went away to the Savoy, if you
To
will.
bang.
Yes.
Yep.
The third one, Bet Me to Stay, their first time having sex, in which he says, I don't care about your weight, and he fucks her against a wall.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was pretty
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then the last one in Possession, when she is tied, zip tied on the couch, and she gets off on a pillow while he watches. Mm-hmm. So those are the 4. I mean, there's a lot to pick from this season.
Yes.
Some juicy stuff.
Some very literally juicy stuff. So,
and the winner is.
And the winner is. I have to do my envelope fully work. Bet me to stay fucked against the wall and never getting tired.
Yep.
Wow.
Because of the athleticism of it all.
Also, just the saying of
the athleticism of it all. Everything else to me felt like something that in real life could happen and not be like that wild. I mean, the throne scepter a little bit, not so much, but also it just wasn't sexy enough for me. I'm sorry. I want a little bit more than some scepter play.
Oh man. Okay.
Did you hear that?
Personally, I'm not. Dirty talk doesn't do it so much for me. So for that scene, that's mostly what it was.
We're very different people.
And how?
And how?
I don't know why I said that. Like we have nothing in common.
I love it.
No, we're not friends.
But just like the hotness of the just way it played out, the like very like consenting adults being like, we're gonna have casual sex, and then like picking up and doing it against the wall, and her being like, but my weight. And he's like, oh no, not a problem. Like
very hot.
I think he says like, I could fuck you for days and not
and never get tired.
Yeah, not know your weight or something like that. Like register your weight or whatever.
Something like that. It was whatever it was. It was
so
very hot.
Yeah,
it was well done. It was a good scene. So that one got the win for me.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, least favorite sexy times.
Oh boy.
I know it's gonna win for this one.
Number one, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Rumspringa, Ben and Ray, the Amish. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Number 2, bathroom sex.
Sorry.
What did you just say?
He makes me get fucked in green pastures. I think we broke.
I think we broke Jess.
This is stupid. Okay. All right. The second one, the like first time bathroom hate crying sex in the Gossip Girl green light fic. The third one, stealing her Chinese food to get upstairs in Trick You, the Vegas one.
You guys were really upset by that one.
Yeah, and then the last one in the list is cornered in the shower, also from Trick You. Yep. When she is in the shower and he comes back and is like, I know how to talk to her. I'm gonna just get in the shower with her.
And the winner is cornered in the shower.
I knew it.
Wow.
I knew because I was like, okay, the red herring is God is good.
Yeah,
that
Lord's
was my
shepherd.
honorable mention.
But that was like, he's gonna go with corner in the shower because he was really upset by that one.
I was, and I mean, both of the tricky ones were bad. They were just bad.
Yeah.
No part of me enjoyed the sexiness of either of them because I was like,
it was a lot.
What is this? At least with the like Chinese food stealing one, which I mean
there was some conversation, I guess.
Yeah, like the bare minimum of an at least is it like if she really wanted to, she had the chance to be like, no, get out, leave my place and not fuck him.
Right.
The shower one, she told him to leave.
Yeah.
And gets in the shower and then he just shows up naked in her shower. That is
No.
Not okay.
Hey, they turned out married. They're fine.
Yeah, because married people never get taken advantage of sexually.
Married people are fine forever.
That was a good answer.
That's a good. But I also
But also, the Lord is my shepherd.
The Lord is my shepherd has, and listen, Ben and Ray and like that pairing is a prolific fanfic pairing.
Yeah.
I have not been able to read it since. It used to be one of my regular go-tos.
Yeah,
it has been like 3 months and I have not been able to touch that pairing. I think that fic ruined it
Amish
for me.
really messed us up.
Because I so vividly pictured Adam Driver's face the entire time, and I think he's dead to me now. I don't think I can come back from this. I don't know.
Can you imagine with his like shirt buttoned up all the way to his neck with like a tiny little hat on?
I imagine
with
with
a
the hat
handful
the
of
whole time.
sweaty Skittles that the color is all run into his hand.
We're on the last two. We got best side character.
Yep.
All right, we got Serena from Conversations on Aesthetics, the Gossip Girl fic from the Green Light
Yep.
episode. We've got Ginny Weasley from Manacled in the Shared Secret episode.
Badass.
The badass Ginny Weasley. We got Tansy Arkansas in Bet Me to Stay, the Bets and Wagers episode. And finally, we have the whole girlfriend group in the Off Limits book, which was the Green Light book.
Yeah.
Their names were Stella, Ariana, Emma, and Lena. And they were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So that was my
And
answer.
the winner is
Whoa.
Serena.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to the girl group because
Yeah.
I
Thank
think
you.
they were
Getting
very
her out of there
badass.
after that botched wedding was incredible. So.
Yep.
It was.
But yeah, Serena.
They had a whole group to support together.
Yes.
Serena had to do it on her own.
Yeah.
With her ex, there was just like so much like weird baggage going on.
Yep.
And she was so cool through all of it.
Yep.
That I really was like, wow.
She was very realistic, very, very good
Yes,
friend.
definitely.
Yeah.
Good friend and
she
a
grew up a
good
lot.
communicator. So you know what?
Which is not how she is in the show.
And we love
She
a good
grew up a lot
communicator.
by the time we got to
Sure.
that fanfic.
I have never seen the show.
Yeah.
That's so
I'm
true.
basing it solely on the fic. And
Yeah.
you know what?
She was great.
She was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really liked her characterization in that fic too. All right,
Last one.
last one. Favorite love story. So we have Manacled by Senlin Yu. Never Marry for Money, You Can Borrow It Cheaper, the Social Network fic. Bet Me to Stay. And then that was it, right? We didn't have a
I
fourth
only
one?
put 3 because
Yeah.
I couldn't think of another one.
That's all right. That's
Because
fine.
I every time I did it, I was like, this one's better. And then I was like, is that better? So I just kind of left it at 3 because there's
Yeah.
no rules.
So we got Manacled,
Yeah.
Never Marry for Money, the Vegas one, and Bet Me to Stay, the Bet KU.
And the winner is
Wow.
Bet Me to Stay. I really liked it. I really, and I think the thing that kind of really put it over the edge for me is that a lot of the other fics had things that if I were like, you know, taking the escapism out of it, taking the like, this is not like real, that like if I wanted one of these relationships to happen to me, Bet Me to Stay felt like the most like true, just lovely,
Yeah.
two good people. Nobody is an asshole.
they
There's
grow
nothing like super
together.
problematic.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that they grew together. They helped each other out in a very good way. It felt very nice. And like, not that that's without its drama, like that still had its good drama, but the drama felt like a healthy growing pains, not so much like, cool, we're going to ignore this red flag because
Right.
we need them to fuck.
Yeah.
I don't even think I think that one was left on a cliffhanger. I don't think I finished the story for you
It's
guys.
true. It was left on a
So
cliffhanger.
you don't even
I
know
don't
if they fall in love.
Okay.
Yeah. It's heavily, we know they fall in
It
love.
is heavily implied.
We're aware.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We know things.
You're right. Boy, I wonder if the end of the next Disney Pixar movie is going to be happy.
Probably not. It's
It's going to be sad first.
You.
It's going to be sad
real sad
first.
first.
20 minutes
True.
before the end, really sad.
Those were some good superlatives.
Yeah, you
we
picked
did
some things that I didn't think you were gonna
Yeah.
pick. You did some surprising,
You're a
choices.
surprising little BB.
Yeah.
Always keep them on their toes, audience.
You're pointing at
Always.
no one. You're
Pointing
pointing
We
at
don't
a
have a
window.
camera, but I know I'm pointing at you
Yeah,
right
yeah.
Audience.
Feel that point.
Yeah, if you're
Feel
pointing
it.
at that fedora, if anything.
now. Yeah,
Yeah, you're-
Jason Mraz. Never let them know your next move.
Jason Derulo.
Well, we have a little surprise for Will.
You have a surprise for me.
Yeah.
We have a surprise for you.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because I also have a
set it up?
surprise for you all. But I want to hear your surprise first.
Okay.
So we thought that, we're the raccoons talking about the best trash in town, and we thought that it was only fitting that we bring you into the raccoon world. And so we got you a little something.
I'm
We
so
got you
excited.
something. We got him it is a bag for the people who can't see, which is everyone
It's a
listening
bag-
to this.
Oh, yes.
The bag with
yes, I
something in
knew
it.
it.
It's amazing
I
bag.
knew it. Oh, I'm so hyped for this. All right, I got to take this.
Opening it
carefully
right
now.
now. Yeah, careful with that.
Oh, that's some good ASMR.
Oh, so good. Listeners, I've just unwrapped a mug, a beautiful mug, with a trash panda, aka a raccoon, lifting its leg up in the air with some text underneath it that says "Stay trashy." It's very much the like a cat bathing itself kind of
Yes.
pose.
Yes.
It's a sexy raccoon.
It's a sexy raccoon. This is great. Oh,
Thank you for being our guest.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. The best gift was being on here with you. I had a great
good
time.
answer. But now you have another mug for your mug collection.
I
Which
do
we
have another mug.
We had to do it.
If you want to hear about our mug collections, go back to episode 3.
True, and make sure you're following them on Instagram because you missed some great mug pictures. If you didn't.
Really
and
did.
8th grade photos of all of us.
Post those mug pictures.
I know. I
kind of want
They're gone
to.
forever. No, we can
I'll find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
These are
we
great.
really
This is
appreciated
great.
you
Wow.
being our guest.
thanks for
Thank
being
you
here,
all.
man.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great time. I had a blast.
Good.
And to show you all how much of a blast I've had and how much of an impact you've had, because I mentioned this, in my intro episode. I had not really been into this world before. I never read a lot of fanfic. I was not like a big smut reader. And I think as I've been a part of it and listened to other seasons, I realized that I am closer to it than I thought. I think that is one of the beautiful things about the show, is showing you that no matter where your experience is with it, there's something universal about this. That we all connect to this in a way. And so I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool to have gotten brought into this world. And then in the Instagram post of, I think, the first episode of the season, my introduction episode, we teased it by posting about how we were talking about smut and, of course, the book series that I've been reading throughout the season, which is the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. And somebody commented on it, was very excited and was like, oh, are we getting Stormlight smut? And you were like, no. Sorry, we're just talking about the two things.
Yeah.
And so I thought I might try my hand at writing a Stormlight Archive fan fiction.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now,
what?
The thing that I've discovered through this process is that writing fan fiction is hard.
Yeah,
it is hard.
Yeah.
Because
writing anything is hard.
I feel like I am a pretty good writer. I feel like I write very well and can write fairly quickly. So I was like, oh, I'll be able to do this no problem. I'll knock it out. I'll have it done by the finale. And true to form, it was so much harder than I anticipated, just because I kept having all these questions about how true to the characters and the story do I need to be? Can I include stuff?
Am I nailing the voice?
Am I nailing all of this stuff?
Yeah.
So it's taken me a fair amount longer than I anticipated. So that being said, I am intending on it being a 3-chapter fan fiction. I am
my God.
1.5 through. So I've got 1.5 chapters currently written right now. So this is the first draft of chapter 1.
Oh my
for
god.
each
Oh my
of you.
god.
Oh, he's just presented us with printed out, stapled
Are you gonna
copies.
publish it on AO3?
I will. When I'm done with it, I think my goal is to have you all read the whole thing and get your thoughts on it. Make sure to have some editors.
Excited.
Then I will publish it on AO3 because I will need help knowing what tags I need to put on
Yeah.
it. And
That's
all
Jess's
of
world
that.
right there.
And so then we can publish it on AO3, and you can toss it up on Instagram for the show or what have you.
Oh my
But
god.
I
Holy
was
shit.
inspired to deliver a little bit of Stormlight smut for the listeners.
And
out
we've got to
there.
find that person that did that first
Yes.
comment
We'll
and
send
it.
at them and be like, hey, it's happening.
Oh, I should have
God.
done this beforehand because I knew I was going to do this. But let me see if I can pull up that name real fast. just
Yes.
So I can give them a quick
Wow.
shout.
Oh my
I can't
God,
believe
this
that.
is amazing.
That's really.
Will.
I'm really impressed.
This is so cool.
That's incredible. Good job.
Hey, thank you.
And,
I can't wait to
listener-
read it, and I don't know. I have not read the Stormlight series, but I'm
Shout out to Cosmere Play. This is for you. This is
Yeah.
some Stormlight Archive and filth for you.
It's all for you, Cosmere.
Yeah. And listener, I mean, Will didn't hand us a couple of flimsy pages. We have.
It's 10 pages.
We
right?
have a chunky chapter 1 in our hands.
Oh
This
yeah.
is pretty damn good.
I went full into it.
I am so happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled that you felt that you could explore this world. You felt familiar enough that you felt like you could, and also that you just did this. This makes me so happy
You all
I know
inspired me.
I know that you were saying you had no background in fan fiction
I
at
really
all.
don't.
Yeah.
So this is and I will say I was like, oh, it'll be fun going out of my comfort zone a little bit, but I'm a writer, so it'll be fun. No, it really I was taken aback by how much I was like, in my head
It's
about
hard.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And just also the weird like realization that like writing smut during the day feels very weird.
Listen, I've been there, Will. I understand you completely.
Like, I'm like, I need the sun to go down so I can write this sex scene.
Yeah,
Like,
that's so cool.
I also love that you loved a book series so much that you wanted to write a fanfic about it. Because that makes me, that's what I really like about fan fiction too, is that someone was so excited by something that they wanted to add to it or like change it a little bit. Like, I love that. That's just the book nerd in me. But I'm like, oh, the power of literature and stories.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I love so much about fan fiction, obviously. But it's also like what you were saying where like some of my favorite fanfics are the ones where they can nail the voice. Like that's why I love reading like Succession fanfic, because a writer being able to nail like Kieran Culkin's delivery.
Yeah.
And like everybody has a very distinct like cadence and vocabulary and that sort of thing, and reading a fic where a writer has really been able to like capture that, I'm always in awe because I know how hard that is. Like, and I'm not a writer myself because of trauma. But
as we heard
in the bully episode, but like it's really fucking hard to do, and I feel like a lot of the time people who don't know the world of fan fiction kind of are like, well, that's just something nerds do. Without understanding it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. You have to have a really good grasp on the characters and the world and the like everything.
Absolutely. It reminded me a lot of like writing treatments for like television shows.
Oh,
like, you have to write like your own script of shows to be like, I can prove that I can write in this show's voice. I was like, oh my goodness, this feels a lot like this.
It's the best. I mean, we had a episode in the first season where we did Superstore.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like when we read it, because they like absolutely nailed.
I remember
like,
that one.
The
that was a great one.
And
Dina's in particular.
Yeah. So that's, I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited to read this.
Good job.
Yeah. I mean, and no pressure.
Hell yeah, we're gonna read it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, we're gonna read it.
Yeah, and we'll have to when you're done with it, we'll have to link it to.
Yes.
We'll post
if
it.
If you would like us to.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell the listeners about it, and now you can't go read it.
Sorry.
No, I feel for I did it for you all. I just had a great time.
We love it,
and I wanted to do something for the end of my season, and so this felt like something that would be a fun challenge.
Lovely surprise. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah, of course.
Before we ask you like questions or like whatever's, but I just want to say like it's been really lovely having you on this season, and it's been like, we wanted somebody different than Sean, obviously, from the first season, and I liked that we had a male perspective on some things, because just throughout the season we've talked about stuff that I guess I wouldn't have thought about from your perspective. Like most specifically in the Greenlight episode, like going over like trench coat burglar, or getting pushed against a wall. Like, you said some stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, I guess a guy would think kind of differently about that, or like, yeah, I guess there is always a question of maybe consent or something that in my head when I'm reading these, I'm like, well, of course, like, because that's been really cool, having just like a different, like your voice just being like, have you thought of this? And I'm like, no, my dumb ass has not thought of that. So it's been so good having you here as a grounded person, but also as the like bonkers, like
bits
on the same level as like Jess or I at random points where we're all like, wah! And it's just been a true wonder, and I'm happy because I feel like you and I have gotten kind of closer.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Like, you and I play in Rift together Saturdays at IO in Chicago at 10 p.m. if you ever want to come.
Yep.
But yeah, and I have always enjoyed like playing with you, and like I love being with you on stage because you're so like incredibly talented. But like just sitting down and chatting with you, and like where you're kind of in our element, where I'm like smut, and you're like, I will try this, and it's just been like, it's been so wonderful, and I'm not like intimidated by you right now.
Oh, good. Were you before?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God,
never.
Well,
because post-pandemic, like getting back on a stage, I was just like, this is fucking terrifying. And then like you go on stage and you're like, meow, 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 and everyone laughs, and I'm like, motherfucker, this pirate is just so talented.
Yeah, listener, if you have never had the privilege of seeing Will Nicholson on stage, which you probably haven't, but let me describe for you just a charming, loud pirate.
Especially in the LA producers pitch perfect,
just
which
arriving
is my
on
favorite
stage,
thing.
like, and just being like, "I'm here, world, and I'm gonna make you laugh."
The loudest motherfucker you've ever heard.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten so much closer to both of you too through this. This has been great. And truly, just like I came into this knowing next to nothing, with just like, I'm just gonna have an open mind and some fun with these two great people, and it has been that. And I've had, honestly, I tell this to everyone as I like pitch the show to them. I'm like, you should listen to it, and I'm like, I really didn't think it was gonna be for me, but then I started listening.
I didn't think it was gonna be good.
No,
it was gonna suck.
It just as somebody that didn't have that relationship to fan fiction or smut, I was like, I'm gonna kind of be an outsider, and that's okay because it'll be my perspective. But now I very much feel more like an insider. Like, this was a lot of fun. I'm gonna go find my own. I'm gonna hunt down my own.
You're gonna be a little AO3 writer now.
You're gonna get on Dramini fic just like I am. But like, I can't speak for Jess, but I really enjoyed talking about something that, I mean, like, you and I know a lot about this. Yeah. Like, we've read a lot, and we've
spent a lot of time on the internet doing
We're nerds, and we've done research, and we have books that like are about, for me, romance novels, for you about fan fiction, and like, I enjoy telling people, like, teaching people about this, but I like teaching it like I'm talking to them over coffee, because that's how I retain information best. If I'm just having a conversation, like, I want to be talking to my friends, and sometimes I need it explained to me like I'm 5 years old, which is fine. That's my learning speed sometimes, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So I'm glad that, like, people who don't know anything about this hopefully can feel like, yeah, I do understand. You know what I mean?
I have felt so welcomed this whole time. Good. I feel like I'm a part of the community now. Yay. Like, I'm part of the...
You literally are. You wrote a fanfic.
I am.
You are.
It's official.
It is. Yeah, and I think that was one of the things when we first started doing the podcast that was important to me, is I wanted to listen to a podcast about fan fiction, and I had a couple that I liked. Shout out Fine Pairings. But I wanted one that really dug into the writing and the narrative and the structure and those things, like the things about fanfic that I like, where I'm like, no, this is, you guys, I feel like my entire life I've been screaming like, fan fiction is really impressive, you guys, you just gotta give it a chance. And so being able to show that to you and to the listener, hopefully, and just kind of show that this thing that is a lot of times kind of looked down on, or like a punchline, is actually hard to do and very impressive, and brings a lot of joy and connection to a lot of people. And I think that's very important. And if we can bring that to some people and bring a little joy into their lives and introduce them to a new thing, that is amazing. Yeah. And also teach them about the Omegaverse, which is a very important concept. Everyone should know about.
Gotta know. You don't want that slick sneaking up on you.
No, you need extra yoga pants for that
extra big yoga pants.
Well, I only have 2 questions left for Will.
Okay.
The first one is, could we just get your thoughts on the season as a whole? I know you've said a lot already, but is there anything else you want to say just as your parting words?
I think the thing that I've come away with most from this is, as I've been doing this season and telling people about it, the number of people whose eyes have lit up and gone, I read that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that they just don't feel comfortable or have a place to talk about it. And for me to go, oh, well, I'm talking about it, every other week with these 2 wonderful gals, and they've got a podcast, you should listen to it. And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
It's been so cool, because I think that is one of the things that has struck me the most about this is such a prevalent community. There are so many people that enjoy this stuff, and it is a big part of their like life and growing up, and they just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's taboo. And removing that stigma, I think, is so cool. I think you guys are doing amazing things. And I think that, for me, I think has been my biggest takeaway from the season.
Aw, thanks.
Thank you, Will.
Beep boop bob. And then the last thing I have to ask is, do you have any advice for the next season's guest? And is there anything that you would recommend? Like, you got quote unquote maybe recommended Amish from a guest in the past. Is there anything you'd like to see on season 3 that you didn't get to do this time?
I
or in a holiday episode,
my
I
biggest
guess,
piece of advice is I really went in thinking like, oh, week to week something will pop up in the story that I want to hear more about, and that'll be my theme for the next week. And it didn't always happen. I think mostly because I would be really paying attention to the story. I'd be really into it, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to find a theme.
Oh shit! What did they say? Slick.
One job.
Science.
Well, and then the other issue being like, if some of the themes were more prevalent, I'm like, okay, well those have been done, or like this is too close to the theme that we're doing now.
Right.
So I think what I would say is like have a few things that excite you, that interest you, that you might want to hear some smut about. And bring that in ready to go. I think that would be my biggest piece of advice for the next person. And in that vein, I realized literally on my walk home from recording last episode, which was our last like actual like reading fix episode, I was like, oh man, we should have done a video game episode where like it's all video game stuff. Cause like I love that. And like, that's just, so I think find those interests that you have and have them ready to go. Maybe it's video games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I mean, that's one of the joys about NLA. I'm so glad because we thought of a lot of things we could do when we were coming up with this podcast. And I'm so glad we decided to have guests like you and Sean on because you just bring your ideas in that I would never in a million years think Wounded Soldier
y'all weren't gonna do a
video
green
game.
light
And
episode?
not to say that we don't love the holiday guests that we have as well.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. But like I think having someone that
gives us something,
that can lend that perspective, and the holiday guests do that too in other ways. But having a guest format rather than just you and I talking is so nice because it kind of opens up our perspectives a lot, and that's so lovely, and I'm very appreciative of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we did it. That was our season 2.
I don't want it to end.
I don't want it to end. Well, we can say just hey, just so you guys know, we might have a few holiday episodes, but we're taking a bit of a break.
We're taking a break because I'm getting married in August. And
Someone's gotta get married.
Yay! Well, I'm already married, but I'm doing the whole party in August.
Yay! I get to wear a dress.
She gets to wear a dress. Will's gonna MC, which I'm very. I did. So I was building out the wedding schedule yesterday, and it like. I have processional into the reception, like the grand entrance.
Do you
and
have
then Ben and Will type 5 is a line item on there, and I'm very excited to see what happens.
That's so good.
So yeah, because that's happening, I'm not anticipating I'm going to have a ton of time to record a podcast in the coming months.
No.
I'm so sorry, listener.
Yeah.
But we are noodling around with some ideas.
Yeah.
So
keep an eye open for that. We might post some stuff on our Instagram.
Keep an eye on the Instagram for any updates on stuff, and
they'll definitely be posting a finished fanfic.
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
Hopefully by the time this episode comes out, I'll have it done and ready.
You've got like 4 weeks.
You have 4 weeks.
You have a month.
Even if
That's enough time.
There's no shame if you post the first chapter and then take a little while.
People take.
Look, I'm like 75% done with the second chapter, so it's gonna be faster than that.
It's like a well-known fandom joke of like a fanfic writer will in the notes be like, "Hey guys, sorry I didn't post for a while. Like my mom died and my house blew up, and I also like
had a baby.
I also had a baby, and like I'm really really sorry though. Here's the second chapter. Like,
that's great.
Yeah. So no shame at all,
Cool.
but.
So yeah, my mom might die and my house might blow up.
Yeah. But like
Jesus,
post
God
the second
forbid.
chapter is really the moral of that story.
Is there any plugs you want to do before we go?
Oh boy, give me a follow on social media. I do a lot of different random shit all over the place, which makes it a little bit hard to plug things succinctly. But my social media is a great way to see all of that shit. I'm in Riff Improv at IO Saturdays at 10 p.m. I'm in Lost
Chicago.
Realm in Chicago.
Don't know.
In case you don't know, also in Chicago, I'm in Lost Realms at the Otherworld Theater at 10 p.m. on Fridays. That's a great place. I'm doing a little bit of Twitch streaming. I'm on a hot little hiatus right now because my mom died and my house burned down.
Oh no! Too close to home. I'm so sorry.
But go give me a follow on Twitch. I'm Sir Chilliam on Twitch. Come play some video games with me and hang out and shoot the shit. I think that's about it. That's happening right now. I'm going to be on another podcast with friend of the pod, Ben A. Bear. He's got his own...
enemy of the pod, more
Oh,
like.
wow. Okay. Didn't realize I was...
He asked us to be guests, and we haven't heard anything
Yeah,
since.
haven't heard a fucking
Wow.
We're taking it very personally.
Well, to be fair, I think he just recorded the first 2 episodes of his podcast. I was one
That's
of the
fair.
guests.
That's fair. That's
I was
fine.
the guest for the second episode. That's Bite Size Pod. It's all about the Twilight movies, one scene at a time. It's going to be very fun. Very
yeah,
Be a
silly.
good
it is
crossover.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm up to right now, and I'll be up to more later. So come give me a follow on social media and say hi. I'm pretty friendly on there.
Yeah.
Not in real life, but on social
No.
media.
In real life, you're awful.
No,
Thank
correct.
you for seeing me.
Yeah, I got you. We're friends now, so like we can
Yeah,
say these
yeah.
things to each other.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to plug?
No, I don't do anything.
Okay. Well, I have a second book coming out. I guess I should plug that.
Yes.
Robbery Across the Hall
Amazing.
is coming out
Yay.
July 12th, 2023.
So
you
close to being a Leo.
Buy.
I know.
You can buy it anywhere online. You can get it in hardback or
gonna be
Kindle Unlimited or
Taurus?
whatever.
No, Gemini.
Cancer, I think.
Oh, is it
I
Cancer?
think it's Cancer, yeah.
Weird because my house has cancer.
Yeah. Because Gemini is like
your house side of Cancer. That's why it's
Yeah,
taking so long.
it's Cancer.
Yeah, that's why I can't write the third book yet. But yeah, that's coming out. So please support me. Help me pay off my college loans. Yay! And again, look, subscribe and like to all the TikToks and Instagrams and Facebooks for Femmes Reading Filth.
Oh yeah, I want to plug something. I'm on a
okay.
podcast called Femmes Reading Filth.
Oh wow!
And
What's it about?
It's about like fan fiction and Kindle Unlimited.
Oh my
Who
god,
are the-
that
who are the
sounds
hosts?
hot.
It's this what is her name? Emile Barrage.
Yes, Emile Barrage.
Emile Barrage, yeah, she's one of the hosts, and then the other one I can't remember, but she like
Are you
she
sure
has
it's
a
not
really
Emily?
weird laugh. She has like a really annoying laugh.
Are you sure?
and-
Are you sure it's not? Are you sure it's not Emily?
No, it's spelled like Emile, so I'm pretty sure it's like
Yeah.
Emile. Emile Barrage.
That's my laugh.
I think we gotta end there.
Okay, yeah. Hey, thanks and
Thanks
look out
for
for us,
listening.
and you're the best.
Oh, should we talk about what we're reading?
Oh shit.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, for the last time. Hey, Will.
Shit, man. It was
Wow.
loose. That was loose.
I wanted to get looser every time.
I'm reading a smattering of things
Okay.
at the moment. I'm still reading through the Avatar: The Last Airbender Legends tabletop role playing book because again, it's like reading a textbook. It's not. I can't just like sit and power through.
Yeah,
it.
it's a little bit at a time.
Yeah, exactly. I've also just started reading Salt, Heat, Acid.
Oh, yeah, salt, fat,
Salt,
acid,
fat,
heat.
acid, heat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I look at the picture and I just go, those words are in a
Are in a
clump together.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, I've just started reading that. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to upgrade my culinary skills.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Very
with
good.
some
Nice.
sciencey know-how. I feel like Alton Brown. Cool. And then I'm rereading the second Stormlight book right now because that's where my fic drops
Hey.
in.
Wow.
During that book in the
You gotta
timeline.
master the voice.
So I'm rereading like parts of it to make sure that I'm not just brutalizing the series that
Yeah.
I really like.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're doing so much. I'm like struggling to find something that I'm reading.
Oh well, then should we start with Emily?
Yeah.
Hey, Emily.
Yeah, what's up? God. I'm reading two things. KU as I'm reading To Wake a Kingdom by Nisha J. Tooley, which is a like dark Sleeping Beauty retelling. I'm only on like chapter 2, but it's fun. It's cool. So that, and then today I started The Silver Envelope by Sinflower81, which is a Hermione fanfic.
Yes.
Which I found on TikTok.
Yes.
And I fucking love it. But it's not finished yet.
What's it? Oh,
It's,
you're treading in dangerous
but it has,
waters.
It doesn't have a question mark. It has like a. It's
Oh,
like,
it has a finished a
Yeah.
number of chapters.
I
It's
think
gonna be-
there's like 50 done out of like 65.
Okay,
Oh.
So
that's pretty
it's-
safe.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a pretty safe bet.
So I was like, okay, this seems promising, and I'm having a really good time reading it. So,
Great.
Jessica.
What are you reading? What are you reading?
So when I actually think about it, I am reading a lot of things, but just not. I'm like in the middle of all of them.
Yeah.
So Succession has had a very interesting couple of episodes. So I've been digging into the fanfic. One of my favorite things to do as shows episodes are coming out, especially if they're very good, is to the next day be like, who wrote stuff about this?
Yeah.
Wow. Is the turnaround that fast?
Yeah. There are people that'll just like
That's
get
crazy.
on, do a one shot about a scene or a character based on that episode. And I love, especially if it's an episode where a lot of drama happened, where the recent one was that. That's what I've been doing, is reading like a couple fics a day as they get posted, which I adore. And then I am really trying my best to keep listening to Crescent City. I'm having a hard time.
It's okay.
It's a lot of world building up top
is.
before I care about anyone.
Yeah.
I would really like to care about people before I have to learn about all of the inner workings, but we're trying for Emily to get through it. Because I hear...
Try for yourself.
No, I've heard so many times you say how much you love it, and that after the first 100 pages, you start to kind of like get used to it. So I'm really trying, but it is slow going right now. So I'm also thinking a book that's been on my list for a long time has been Gideon the Ninth, which is like a fantasy series that is really well reviewed and like seems really cool. It's by Tamsin Muir. And it's the first book of like the Locked Tomb series, and it's like a necromancer universe. So so like that came to me through Book Talk, but I've also just like seen a lot about it, and I kind of want to check it out. But yeah, it's like a science fantasy world, so that might join the rotation to take some breaks from Crescent City and like work in Gideon the Ninth.
I've been in a slump before. I like literally the Silver Envelope, when I started that, I was like, here we go, and I powered through.
Yeah.
And like because to Wake a Kingdom, I've been like chapter by chapter. I'm like, all right, I gotta take a break. But so I'm like, I've been in a reading slump, and I need to find the thing that like gets me back into it. So I completely understand like being in the middle of like 4 and being like, we'll get to it later.
We'll get there. It'll all happen eventually.
I have
or
no
it
doubt.
Doesn't, and
Or
that's
it
okay.
doesn't. Yeah, that's also okay.
Yeah.
No shame. Okay, now I think we've
now we're done.
I think we've stalled long enough.
We can't prolong it.
We don't want it to
anymore.
end, but
do you
I
guys,
think it's...
do you just want to drink wine now?
Yeah, I think we're gonna... Keenan is still asleep on the couch. I think we're gonna kick him off the couch.
We can just
and
jump
drink
on
wine
him.
and watch
Yeah.
something.
All right, hey. Well, it's been lovely. Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Will.
And we're all just 2 raccoons
talking
talking
about
the best trash in
town.
Bye.
Femmes Reading Filth is hosted, produced, and edited by Emily Barusian and Jessica Mall. Intro music by Tom Lehrer. Outro music by David Reddick. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Femmes Reading Filth. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.